let us take a look at Matt Crafton's 2018 truck. Here's the bonus features.
I can't explain why my whole world is feeling so far away.
Brett's my buddy, and knowing the pain he was in and the rehab he went through to get back and be able to race all the races, just incredible.
There's Stuart Friesen. Remember, we heard at the early portion of the show some of the issues they were having, and I thought they were down a cylinder.
They must have not been. Maybe just a spark.
They fixed it, something, whatever the case may be. They've gotten that taken care of. That's Friesen right behind John Hunter Nemechek.
And he's currently 7th quick, too, Vince, so they got speed in that truck, as well as getting their problems squared away.
Now, John Hunter Nemechek ran Xfinity full-time 2019, went to Cup, ran a full season last year in 2020, came back to the Truck Series to say, I want to win races. He wants to prove a point about his ability. What do you think of that theory and philosophy of drivers coming back to the Camping World Truck Series or maybe even coming back to the Xfinity Series from Cup to prove a point?
You want your best chance to go win races. And, if you take a guy like Ross Chastain, he just drove anything he could to get opportunities to show that he could win races, that he was a fast driver. He did just that. Now look at him. He's going to go Cup racing in a top-line car. John Hunter Nemechek can do the same thing. We know he has the ability behind the wheel. He's got a great team. I'm looking for a lot out of this guy this year.
And how about more on Nemechek, Jamie?
I spoke with him today about making the run here in the Truck Series, and he said, it's easy to say that I'm taking a step back, but what he feels like is that he's really learned a lot of hard lessons the hard way by making that move up to Xfinity and ultimately to Cup. He said, I'm bringing all of that experience back with me now. He feels like he's a more mature driver. He feels like he's ready for the competition. He said, it might be lower on the ladder, but the competition here is fierce. There are 10 to 12 trucks that could win any particular weekend. The biggest lesson he's bringing with him is just to enjoy the moment. You don't know how long this series are going to be around or how long he's going to be able to drive in the series, but this year there's a lot of personal growth for him. He's married now. He has a daughter on the way in just 6 weeks, and he wants to enjoy those times and bring that experience with him.
Well, that entire Cobblish Motorsports camp, went through some adjustments. Eric Phillips has come over to crew chief. John Hunter Nemechek. Phillips had been a car chief at the truck level, formerly a crew chief in the early days. In fact, the beginning of Cobblish Motorsports, the winningest crew chief in Truck Series history. And now he has come back, and we'll see how his crew chief game has developed with those years in the Cup garage and the Xfinity garage as well, but most recently in the Cup garage. I'm looking forward to that combination of John Hunter and Eric Phillips.
I think it's important, too, for Kyle Busch to have a veteran like John Hunter Nemechek in his trucks. Kyle gets in them and wins, and then when he has his young drivers and they're not able to perform at that level, you hear frustration from Kyle Busch about their performance and what they need to do to get better. John Hunter will push the gas. He will go to victory lane. I think that'll make that whole organization, Vince, that you talked about, that has beefed itself up, I think it's going to make them all better.
Quite a bit of traffic on track now in the final 10 minutes of practice. James Buescher out in the 44, former series champ. Ryan Doza in the 28. Doza, know your paint scheme.
15th place in this practice session, so he's got some good speed as you see him run into the bottom of the racetrack. Gray in the 15 up top. There comes Zane Smith in the 21. Vince, I've been reading my notes, studying my playbook. There's a lot of different colored trucks and a lot of different lineups out there this year. I know our championship 4 are all returning, but not in the same place for some of them.
That's for sure. It's some good-looking trucks, too. Love some of these schemes that we're going to get to see tomorrow night here at Daytona. The final minutes of practice in the World Center of Racing coming up. Less than 5 minutes remaining in the first and only practice for the Camping World Truck Series before tomorrow night's race at Daytona. We'll qualify and go racing tomorrow night. 9 of the top 10 are from the Toyota manufacturer, and they had a long line that earlier in practice that put up those times in the draft.
Yeah, they were the best formed group, and there were the most trucks, and that's why they went to the top of the board. And Vince, this practice has been pretty free on the track as far as trucks getting loose or having issues, but these drivers are learning. They're trying to figure out what they need to make on handling adjustments, changes they can make to the truck to make them go faster. When you put them all out there together, it's crazy the way that these trucks will start handling. It'll pop, and bounce around. These guys will struggle to hang on to them. It's going to be a fun night to watch racing tomorrow. And tonight, we got a duel coming up. 2 of them.
7 o'clock Eastern, right here on FS1. You see Matt Crafton and Zane Smith, Tanner Gray, in that 3-truck line. How about Tanner Gray, Jamie?
Well, Tanner's doing a double this weekend. He's running the truck race tomorrow night. He'll also take the green flag in the NASCAR Menard Series race on Saturday afternoon. But he said, I just pulled into Daytona today, and I didn't feel like that deer in the headlights. That's the way he felt last year. He said everything just seemed so much larger than life, and everything happened so fast. But he said today he just felt calm. He felt like he had the experience of the 2020 season behind him now. He can get out here and he can actually make some progress.
Well, he made progress last season. He finished 3rd 3 times, including back-to-back races, Bristol and Las Vegas. I mean, he showed that he has some potential to get it done. Shane Wilson, the crew chief on that 15, and
I love Shane Wilson.
yeah, I look for good things to continue for this group.
Shane's a roll up his sleeves and get in there and fix it kind of guy.
I mean, how about DGR, David Gilliland Racing with Shane Wilson? We mentioned Chad Johnston, who's recently a Cup crew chief. Mike Hillman Jr., crew chiefing for Haley Deegan. That's a nice lineup as well.
They went to work on the offseason,
They
didn't
did.
Vince, and really put together some great personnel, and I look for great results.
That's what you have to do, though, right? This is a little bit of a handful for the 19 of Derek Kraus.
That's what I love. These trucks out on the racetrack, they're running 190 miles an hour. You really don't realize how fast that is until they try to stop, right? That's a wild ride off turn 4 coming down to get to his pit box, and that's what Derek Kraus is doing, making sure he understands exactly how to stop his truck and how it will feel under those conditions.
He has a new crew chief this season as well, Matt Noyce, who had been over with Ben Rhodes at ThorSport. And there is, once again, our series champion from a year ago, Sheldon Creed. Haven't seen Creed in the draft.
No, he's only run four laps, Vince, and they've all been alone. So this team has decided that they can learn everything they need to know by just running qualifying laps.
And there's Haley Deegan riding on board with her.
Sheldon took his lap and shut the engine down. Haley in her Monster Energy truck, getting that left front right on that yellow line. That's exactly where you want to be. This could be a qualifying run for her. She ran up high coming across the start-finish line and then dropped down when she got past Creed and now running that yellow line. Did you see those trucks up ahead, Vince? Even though she's not that close to them, she's getting a draft, and that's going to help. The truck won't go as fast as this tomorrow when she goes to qualify because that other truck up there breaking the win for her.
Hey, speaking of qualifying, 46 trucks on the entry list. 36 will make the show. I mean, we're going to send home 10 quality trucks tomorrow.
Like I said earlier, the field is stacked. We have got so many great race trucks and teams that are expanding, adding trucks, and young drivers that have raced sim and have raced in the ARC Menard Series. They're here ready to go to battle, and they've got great equipment to do so.
And not just the newcomers, but the top 15 in points from last season are back. I mean, so it's a tough field.
In 2011, there were 47 trucks here. This is the most since then. Wow, 46. So 10 years. That's a nice field of trucks, and I'm telling you, Vince, when they all get done qualifying, I'll challenge you to tell me which one of them can't win.
I don't know.
Because I believe anybody can get up there and get it done.
Got that right. That's one of the fun pieces of being here at Daytona. And you see the 18 of Chandler Smith with a little bit of bragging rights as this first and only practice for the Camping World Trucks comes to an end. We'll look forward to seeing Chandler Smith full-time in that 18 truck for Kyle Busch Motorsports this season. Zane Smith
couple of times last year. Well, who's going to start off their year with a win at Daytona?